This is Roger with Crosscut in Tucson, Arizona. We're selling this truck. It is a 2003 Ford F-250 Crew Cab Long Bed. Has 103,482 miles. It is a 6-liter turbo diesel. It's 4-wheel drive. It's Lariat, which is leather. It was a new car dealer tray we purchased out of Fontana, California. Aside from not having a garage to park it at night, the previous owner was an excellent owner of this vehicle. We purchased it from a new car dealer. It was a new car dealer trade-in in Fontana on a green light, which is very rare, especially for anything over 10 years old. That means they're mechanically guaranteeing it. Obviously, it lived in the sun. You don't have to worry about rust. That's what sun in Arizona and California do to a truck, right there. We have another one right there, same exact thing. That truck right back there runs like crazy. Great truck, same paint. Anyway, we brought it here. They sold it in a green light. We still bring it to our shop. Our shop said that it needed tie rods, an alignment, battery service, and wiper blades. That was 660 bucks. The green light minimum is 600. I liked the truck, so we kept it, even though it needed $660 worth of stuff done. And we figure somebody's gonna not give a crap about the paint. It has no cat. No catalytic converter. Why is that? If you're a diesel guy, you know they just run a hell of a lot better. Also, it's got an edge tuner, which is how you have the check engine light off and no cat. It's tuned. You can, and the tuner is on the dash, so you can change it from economy, which is where it's at, on up. Okay. It does have a bulletproof EGR cooler. We did not install it. Generally, when you do that and you have a truck that runs like this, the person who did that is smart enough to put an oil cooler on it also, but we don't know. But it's obviously a bulletproof EGR cooler, which is great news. I suppose if somebody really liked this truck, they would paint the upper half of this thing. If you just want a vehicle to pull boats with and you're going to stay in the sun a lot like this one, I would just leave it alone. It's got 35s. Light bar there. All this front end stuff, it's not brand new, but it's pretty relatively new, and they did a nice job, really nice job. So my job in these videos, however, is not to be a cheerleader. It's really just to point out what's wrong. What's wrong is obvious, it's the paint, but if there's anything else that's wrong, it's my job to tell you. Now, every vehicle, especially these diesel trucks I buy, I put them up on the 4-post lift, which is in here, and we pressure spray the crap out of them underneath to get everything off, and then we leave them there overnight. The bay dries up, and then we get to see what kind of stuff's leaking from them and where everything's leaking. This one had nothing, okay? I think got a little bit of this right here. This one had nothing, which is excellent. It's just kind of a strange truck. The guy, you know, put air ride, which you can adjust from inside the cab. Did some shocks. Has those Magnatec front and rear diff covers. Those are expensive as hell. He obviously didn't use the tailgate. He probably had the tailgate off the truck because he has this 5th wheel hitch with a wheel as a spare back here, which is kind of cool. You actually have a real spare instead of a spare. So there was a lot of love in this truck. I'm not really understanding why he didn't supply it with some sun cover, but whatever. He probably just didn't care, did he? Great tires. I would say at least 60, 70, maybe 80% tread. I'm gonna fire this guy up so we get some AC going here. Got the keys in my pocket. It'd be helpful if I had them in my hand when I did this. All right, there we go. Glow plugs. There you go. 103,499 is the current mileage. You got your edge tuner right here. I'm gonna open up the hood. Let's try the windows. Windows. All right, let's see. Mirror out, and it has late model mirrors on it, which is kind of cool. They work fine. Out, in, up, down. That works fine. Tilt wheel, windshield wipers, power seat. I did have the seat repaired. The seat cushion had a big tear in it on the outside. You can tell the bolster is new. Seat down, seat up, tilt up and down, rear up and down. Yeah, so this is all new. It's got a little bit of previous repaired stuff going on there. Nothing huge, but my job in these videos is to not sugarcoat. It's to give you what we got, right? That way it'll end up in the right garage and I won't get bitched at. All right, there's a Ford stamp, so you have an original fender. This is good. It's got a newer coolant bottle, which is nice. They look gross after about 2 years they're ruined, so that's fairly new. It's got a coolant filter, which is also very nice. No blow-by, which is extremely nice. You know what I'm talking about. There's your Ford stamp on the hood, so you have the original hood. There's one here on the fender, so the hoods and fender are original. You have a coolant separator. You have a bulletproof EGR cooler. You have a Edge tuner in the truck, and a deleted cat. I'll give you the speech on the cat when we get in the truck, but prepare yourself. Arizona people are going to be required to get a cat. That's Arizona law, and I will discuss that in a minute. If you're from out of state and you're going to ship it out of state, or you're going to drive it out of state, as long as it's registered next out of state, it's up to you on whether or not we do a cat for you or not, if you want one or not. It does have some headrest cameras in them. We don't even test these guys because we'll say they work, they'll get to your house and they won't, so we just tell you they don't, okay? I'll bet you $1 million they do, except the minute I say that, they don't. So I'm not gonna bet you $1 million. Based on the way everything runs in this truck, I would say that the odds are very good. And the AC blows nice and cold, which is beautiful. Let me get the seat to sit back a little bit. Seat forward, seat back, seat down, seat up, seat tilt up and down, up and down. That's a radio manual there. That's a stereo manual, and there's a wheel lock key. That's nice to have. Let's see what else we got. Boom, boom, boom. Nothing going on there. Nothing going on there. This is how they sold it to us. There's your VIN. This is going to be scanned in the ad. You'll be able to read yourself with the mileage, fire protection, green light, announced guarantee. Let's see. Here's the repairs that we did. There's your VIN, tie rods, front end, battery service, wiper blades, $664. Again, that's scanned in. Then we have an invoice for the repair of the driver's seat cushion for $185 for Poncho's Upholstery. Here is the auto check. Gives it a score of 79, of 55 to 72 being average, so it's above average. It does show an accident, or probably one accident. They probably just reported them different times. 9/20/03, 2/14/06. And then what's really funny is it has a theft report here on 7/3/06. So I'm betting that this is all probably the theft, because a lot of times, because we do a lot of theft recoveries here, the cops call a theft an accident, and then this is probably the insurance company got it and sold it, and then it came back into the real world. And lived in Lake Havasu, which is the hottest place on planet, which is why it has no frickin' paint. Because I'm guessing with that fifth wheel, an older couple either had a really nice fifth wheel that they tow and park out there at Havasu, and didn't really care about the truck as much as they did, the appearance of the truck as much as they did how it ran. Probably had a boat too with a whole bit. I know my next stop is the fuel station. Anyway, there's your Edge tuner running there. Let's see. I don't even know how to work these stupid. Let's see. Oh my God. That's enough to make me want to scratch my ears out. All right. So let the air out of the suspension. Going down. Then you pump it. And there it goes up. So it is definitely holding air. I want to stop the ride, so I'm going to take it out. Adjustable pedal. There's your, move that out of the way. Up and down, right? Let's see. Toe on and off. Neutral, we're going to go to 4 low. Now we're in 4x4 low range with the fuel light on. Fuel gauge says it has about 1/8 of a tank. By the way, you're in a Ford truck. Do not trust the fuel gauge in 1/8 of a tank. Like, I'm already thinking I'm going to be walking. All right? Every Ford is the same on that one. You get to 1/8 of a tank, that fuel light comes on. Let's assume the worst. You're about to walk. Anyway, that's in 4 high, reverse, the whole bit. So everything works fine. Let's go back to 4-wheel drive. I mean 4x2. So now we're in 2-wheel drive and going to ride after I check this. My least favorite thing on a truck to fix is this, not the motor, it's that. Way expensive to fix those. So when they move that fast, that means that probably somebody's already fixed it once recently, where they don't move like that, they creep. Anyway, if you come to Tucson to drive it home, we need plates and insurance, okay? If you come here, you're gonna pay your state tax rate, whatever that is, plus our city tax of 2.7% and a $250 dock fee. If you're an Arizona citizen, we're going to add $450 to the price to put a CAT on, which you're probably going to take directly off the day you own it. But it has to have a CAT to get it through emissions here in Arizona, and therefore, and to get plates. So that's mandatory. So if you're an Arizona buyer, add $450. If you're from out of state and you buy it, all you're going to pay is agreed upon price, unless you want us to put a CAT on it before it ships out, then we'll add $450. If you're a California resident, I strongly recommend that you get the CAT, as it's a 49 state CAT, but if you haven't done out of state, you don't have to pay for a California CAT, which is a fortune in California. To buy a California diesel CAT is a lot of money. So if you're in California, you buy this, you're going to want the Arizona paperwork for a CAT that was installed out of state. Very important, okay? Let's see, deposit is $500. Once we have a deposit, we have a deal. Until then, it stays for sale, so please make sure you get your deposit in, okay? Last part of every video, I say the same thing every single time. We don't have salesmen, we don't have bottled water with our name on it. We pay $1 a year for our location. Our uncle owns the property. He collects a $1 check every year and writes off the loss on the rest of it. Yes, he's wealthy and he doesn't care, he thinks it's funny. So we don't have a property that costs us a fortune. We don't have salesmen that cost us a fortune. We don't have a location that needs all kinds of primping and preeming. We don't have a person serving lattes and scones in the lobby like they have a Precision Toyota. We don't have a game room, all right? All we have is the truth and some pretty cool trucks and cars, few cars. There's a give and take, however. When they jack you at the new car dealership for X amount of dollars, and they make a fortune, or at least they charge you a fortune. They probably make nothing because they're terrible at the car business. They know that if something breaks, you're going to come in and you're going to kill them if they don't fix it because they paid a fortune, okay? Well, we don't think you're going to kill us if something breaks because you saved a fortune up front, and you'll be happy to fix your own vehicle. We don't have the infrastructure or the time or the people to fix your vehicle after you bought it. So, in order to get all this very frank information, auto check, repairs, everything we know, how we bought it, in order to get that, you also have to give a little bit. You have to be the owner on day one. If you're not going to be the owner on day one, then we're going to have a problem, because we're not writing checks for anything at any time for this vehicle. Once you're the owner, you're the owner. Now, this truck is, by the way, we just got off on the Prince Road on-ramp. I'm going to give it some gas here. Try not to get a ticket in this truck. This is where the cops like to hang out, in between Prince Road and Ruth Rock, it's called. This guy probably sees me coming and thinks he's about to die. Anyway, even with the big 35 off-road tires, it's got a nice ride. It's a little loud because of the tire noise. There's so much air between the tires and the road, making a little noise. But honestly, a very easy truck to drive. I'm not getting any crazy rattles or anything. Anyway, the bottom line is, you're the owner on day one. We don't have anything in our inventory where we could say, oh my God, you got it, and you know, the window stopped working, or the radio didn't work, or the windshield wipers took a crap, and then we would send you a check. We don't have any of those cars. We're saving you a fortune. We're not going for the throat when we sell them, for a reason. It's so that you can become the owner on day one. If you feel like you're going to need to complain about something, whether it's real or not real, or imagined or not imagined, you're probably going to be very disappointed. We are not writing you a check, okay? Now, I've said the tough love part of this thing, but the obvious part is obvious. We've got a low-mile truck with a bulletproof EGR cooler, a coolant separator, basically a coolant filter separates the crap from the coolant, so it's a separator of whatever. Some people will be like, oh, it's not a separator, that's a water separator, whatever. It keeps the coolant clean, which helps the EGR cooler even more. And it's a bulletproof EGR cooler. It's also got the edge tuner in it, and it's got a deleted cap. All right, and we've already had the speech on the whole thing. I think you understand what we're talking about. My videos are allowed to be 17 minutes and 38 seconds, and right now we're at 17 minutes and 18 seconds. So here shortly, probably somewhere right after this light turns green, we're gonna go dark. So we're gonna run out of time. Anyway, it's a hell of a nice truck. It's blowing cold air. I just want to make it to the light after this one to get some diesel. There's diesel there, but maybe I should even go in there. I've never been to